won't help off of your guys. Give me Giannis. We're going to get beat. Giannis is going to do it one-on-one. What kind of focus did you have just on strictly that matchup in this game?
I was, when you're going against one of the greats, you got to be locked in, So I came into this game, with a mentality to try to stop him. I didn't want guys to overhelp because, if he goes off and he get 40 and we stop everybody else, we still got a great chance of winning the game. So I just didn't want them getting, overhelping too much. And all of those guys like Torian Prince or Brook Lopez got to go in there for a minute. Kuz, I didn't want them guys to end up kind of taking them home because we're overly focused on Giannis. And so, just was trying to tell the guys, like, be there early, but don't stay there, Be there early and then start exiting out to your guy. I'll get back. And we struggled there with it in the third quarter, but we were great the first two quarters and we were great the fourth quarter. We ended up figuring it out again, which was great.
How would you describe what Jimmy can do offensively when he decides to kind of ratchet it up?
Well, he is who he is. He's incredible offensively. He commands so much attention. And for us, that's great because he's allowing everybody else to get to spots where they're comfortable and either get layups or, open jump shots. So, when he's being that aggressive, which obviously we needed him to be that aggressive tonight with Steph out, it's one of the toughest matchups in the NBA, and we've seen that for years on end now.
How much of that aggression out of Jimmy is kind of like a preview of what it could look like in the games that, really matter, playoff Jimmy and everything?
Yeah, I have zero doubt that it won't look like that. I think it'll look just like that, and it'll continue to get better. Jimmy, he's still figuring out his spots. Guys are still figuring out where he wants you on the court when he has the ball here or when he has the ball there, where he wants you on the court. And so we're still figuring all of that stuff out. But, we know what he's capable of. And I always tell the guys when all else fails, just shot clock gets to 6. We ain't got nothing. Just throw him the ball. He'll figure it out. And he did that tonight all night. It was beautiful.
It's award season, getting towards it. Do you think you have a Defensive Player of the Year case this year?
I think, obviously, we keep winning and close this year out strong, most definitely. I look around the league, I don't see many players impacting the game on the defensive end the way I do. I don't see many players completely throwing off an entire team's offense the way I do. So 1,000%, especially with Wemby going down. Seemed like he had it won, and now it's right there. So 1,000,000% I have a case, and I'll continue to build that case for these next 13 games. But tonight, I think, was a prime example of that.
We talked about Jimmy getting used to this offense with Steph. Obviously, things have gone a certain way for many years. But on defense, you run the show, clearly. Has it been an easy adjustment, you think, just to drop into this? It seems like you guys, certainly in that fourth quarter, you were really tied together with the help, all the backside being protected. What's that been like?
It's so easy to add him in because he is like me. He thinks like me. He sees the floor like me or better. I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, man, I'm the world's greatest, and he's not. There are certain things that he sees better than me, and so to have a guy like that, you add him into the fold, for me, it makes me all the more comfortable to know that I can be aggressive, that I could take some chances and know that at the end of the day, there's going to be Jimmy on the backside to cover up any mistakes that anyone makes. And so that's usually me in that position, covering up, for mistakes. But when it allows me to, you think of an offensive player, right? Like you're going to give a guy who's incredible offensive, you're going to give them a little more freedom than you may give others. And they're probably going to take a little more chances or a shot that maybe other guys wouldn't take. I think that's me on the defensive end. I may do something that's unorthodox. I may do something that's not quite how we schemed it, but it's something that I saw could work. And every now and then you take those chances and it don't work, and you can get burnt. With Jimmy on the backside, he covers it up. You know, he'll see me guard and he'll plug that spot. And so it's been extremely easy and very comforting for me adding him to the fold. And, you know, he makes the game a lot easier for all of us on both sides of the ball.
We will get to Jimmy Butler in just a moment because that two-man game is very interesting. But when you see the gray in Draymond's beard, when you know he just turned 35, but you can say, could this be a Defensive Player of the Year candidacy for him? Draymond says 1,000,000%. I'm curious what you think.
I think tonight was the perfect example of why he does have a very strong case. And yeah, if the Warriors keep winning, he should continue to have a 1,000,000% strong case. Giannis Antetokounmpo tonight had his lowest field goal percentage in 2 years. Draymond Green was on him for 7 minutes, and Giannis was 0 for 6. You brought up the final 4 minutes, Kareth, when Draymond had 5 fouls. They both checked in at 4 minutes and 24 seconds left together.
Yeah.
That was on purpose, obviously.
They were linked.
Giannis only took one shot, and it was Draymond right on him at the rim, and it fell short. So that was just like the kind of way that he disrupts things so much. And I think that's kind of the way that he even described his case for Defensive Player of the Year, is that he affects games in so many ways. You saw the way he rotated over to block Taurean Prince in the first quarter, the way that he can slide and rotate and almost like break up alley-oops. We've seen him do these 2-on-1s where he's the one and the offense has no problem. I mean, they have no reason to think that they can score because it's just Draymond. So it's fantastic to watch anytime we get to watch him play defense. It's just otherworldly, honestly, Kareth.
Yeah, Giannis is the second leading scorer in the NBA. He averages 30 plus 12. Tonight he was off his game with 20 and 9. And as Dalton said, that's Draymond Green blowing up his game. So back to Jimmy, because this is interesting for Jimmy. 24, 8, and 10. So 2 rebounds off a triple-double. He was already the first Warrior to have a triple-double this season, but Jimmy was in a spot to take over this game when Steph wasn't playing.
This was Jimmy takeover time. We saw shades of playoff Jimmy, and I think you really actually started to see shades of it last night. We saw that stretch where he dove on the floor, kept the ball alive, got to the free throw line, got his own rebound late in that loss to the Nuggets. But tonight, I believe it was 16 of his 24 points in the second half. Look at that right there. Like, that is the exact Jimmy Butler that we saw carry the Miami Heat
You want finger gun, Jimmy?
different NBA Finals with a roster that is not the same that this Warriors roster is. So that was like just so, you know, fun to see Jimmy Butler go, oh, it is time to be Jimmy Butler. It's time to be Jimmy Buckets, whether that means finding his spot from the mid-range or whether it means using his body and getting in the free throw line and being a perfect, what was he, 11 of 11 tonight from the free throw line? This was a complete Jimmy Butler game.
Yeah, he changes the complexion of the game. And when you have somebody like Draymond, high IQ player, Jimmy as well, who's like, I can improvise a little bit because I know Jimmy is there to backstop me. And Jimmy can say the same things. Like Draymond is there to be the free safety on defense. We can improvise a little bit well. This pairing of Draymond and Jimmy, this has been really rewarding. And these two were the players that we were wondering, well, can they, you know, is it fire and fire? Are they going to get along? They do get along because they're all under the umbrella of winning. We just want to win.